Hey, so yeah, if you're here, then you might have seen my last video where I talked about the 12 colleges that I applied to and got into. Mainly did not get into, but it's okay. And among those viewers, I did not expect to get so many views, and the video is really bad, so sorry about that. I'm back with a better lighting. So like two people out of the 3,000 viewers commented that I should do a stats video and then also asked where I was going to college. So that's what we're doing today. I'm gonna talk about my extracurriculars, my stats, and then at the end of the video, I'll tell y'all where I'm going to college, even though I've known for like a month. So yeah, I have my laptop here because I need to pull up the Common App because I really don't remember what activities I talked about on the Common App, and then also my scores and stuff. And yeah, we're gonna do that right now. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I pulled up the activity section of the Common App, and I'll talk about the 10 activities that I put on the Common App, and then I also put a couple things in the additional information that I wasn't able to talk about. Okay, so my first two activities are varsity cross country and varsity swimming, which I actually did it in 7th grade and 8th grade because I went to a private school and that was allowed, and I put that in the additional information. But yeah, so I did varsity cross country and varsity swimming, which is cross country is a fall sport and swimming is a winter sport, from 7th grade until my junior year. I didn't do it my senior year because I had night classes. I talked about that in the additional information. But yeah, those were for like 3 months each, and we had practice or meets every day after school. For swimming, I did club swim, so I didn't have to practice as much. But for cross country, my freshman and sophomore year, I made it to the regional team. And then for swimming, I made it to regionals my sophomore year, and then I made it to states my freshman and my junior year. So yeah, those are my first two activities. Number 3, I really don't remember these at all because it's been so long since I did it. Okay, activity number 3 is working. Okay, so since the summer after my freshman year, the summer after my sophomore year, and the summer after my junior year, I lifeguarded at my pool in summer, which starts like Memorial Day to Labor Day. Yeah, okay, I always like mix those two up. But yeah, from Memorial Day until Labor Day, and I did like 30-ish to 40 hours a week, so I just averaged it at 35 hours spent per week. And then over the course of the 3 summers, I got promoted 4 times until I was the head manager. And so that's another activity, number 3. Okay, next one is a club. Okay, so I was the president of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes Club at my school my senior year. I've done it every single year. I did it from my freshman year up until my senior year. And I was the president my senior year, and then last year, junior year, I was the treasurer. And they meet every other week on Friday, and then they do like some service activities and stuff like that. Okay, and then next, I feel like I'm going through these really fast, but they're really not that interesting. Okay, so next one is I was a coach on the swim team, the summer swim team. So it's only 10 weeks a year because, well, okay, no, it's actually like 12 because it starts at the beginning of May and then it ends in July. I don't know how many weeks that is, whatever. That's also like 30 hours a week, and I've been doing that also since the summer after my freshman year, and then I'm still doing it now. So this is my 4th year, and then I'm also going to do it postgraduate because I'm totally coming back to coach next year because it's like my favorite thing ever because I love little kids. Okay, activity number 6 is student government and politics. That's the activity type. Okay, so I worked on a political campaign for a guy from my church who was running for our congressional district. He was running for the representative. And so when we did that, we did like phone calls and we distributed campaign materials, and then we made and put out signs and stuff like that. And that was like a month period, and I did about 10 hours per week doing that. And that was my freshman year. So that was my 6th activity. Okay, next one is volunteering. Finally. No wonder I didn't get in. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this was the program I did at my church, and it's called the Moms of Preschool Students. And so basically, I was a volunteer in the nursery, and every Thursday for like 3 hours, a lot of moms would come to the church, and they would like plan service and outreach activities. And then we had volunteers, obviously, who worked in the nursery. It's kind of like a babysitting sort of thing. They would bring their kids, and they would have a couple hours to be away from their kids, and then we would watch their kids and entertain them. And that was from kids that were literally like babies up until 7-year-olds. And so with a lot of the older kids, we did kind of service activities because it was at church. Like we made Christmas cards for veterans and then Halloween, stuff like that. And I did that my junior year and my sophomore year. All right, next one was, again, working, because I've had a lot of jobs. So I tutored at an after-school learning center, and it was just math and reading that we did. And it was younger kids. I pretty much worked with elementary school kids, and then sometimes I got to work with the younger kids, like preschool kids, I guess. Kindergarten, maybe. Yeah, they were like 4 and 5. And I did that my junior year, and I only worked 2 times a week, but it was for like 4.5 hours each time, so I only did 9 hours a week. And then I did that for most of the school year. I did that from January until the end of May, my junior year, and it was fun because all the kids were really cute. Okay, that's 8. Wow, this is kind of unimpressive. So next is volunteering. Okay, so like I said earlier, I swam a lot, and I also did club swim, but as I got into high school, I kind of did a lot less club swim. Like I really barely went to practices and meets and stuff like that. So I started volunteering at a lot of meets to help with my friends. So I was a USA swimming volunteer, and so at swim meets, I would work in hospitality, I would time, I would be like a basket runner at the big meets. I met a couple Olympians through that, which was pretty cool. And I've done that every year since my freshman year up until my senior year. And each swim meet would be about 4 hours, and I did it about 15 times each year, so that was just like an average. Okay, and then the last one that I put was I've been a member of youth group since 3rd grade, but on here, obviously, it's just I was a member of youth group from freshman to senior year, and through that, we did a lot of projects with like our small groups. We made cookies for the open door ministries and firefighters. We did a lot of stuff like that. And it was every Sunday night for 2 hours, and it was about 40 weeks per year just because they don't have it in the summer. Those are the 10 activities that I put on my activity section. Okay. I'm also gonna go over like the academic honors because that's kind of other stuff. Okay, so I'm in National Honor Society, and I'm actually the co-president of National Honor Society. So that's my academic honor number 1, and I did 5. And then that's like you did it in order of importance, I think. And so that's the number 1 that I did was NHS. And then next, my junior year, I got AP Scholar with Distinction. Not really sure what that means. The number 3, I was a junior marshal my junior year. That's the top 12 class rank kids. That sentence didn't make sense, but whatever. It's the top 12 in our class. Okay, this is kind of weird, but I did National Honor Society, and then I did that as the president for National Honor Society. I might have just been trying to fill it up, which might not have been a good idea, but whatever, it's too late now. And then for the 5th one, I was a National Merit Commended Scholar. So that's as far as I went with the PSAT. And yeah, that pretty much leads us into our stats, but I'm going to look at the additional information really quick to see if there's anything that I put that I didn't talk about. Okay, this is confusing to read in the Common App. Okay. So in the additional information, I just talked about how I couldn't do swimming or cross country because I had night classes 3 nights a week for 3 hours. So I really couldn't have participated very much. And then I talked about how I did varsity swimming and cross country in 7th and 8th grade at my other school because I have varsity letters from 2 different schools. And, sorry, that was dreadful. Okay, so yeah, I talked about my night classes. And then I also talked about, because I didn't have enough room in the activity section, which I honestly probably should have put this, because compared to some of the other stuff in my activity section, it really is a lot more important. But I did club swimming for 11 years, from the time that I was 6 until 17, and I did, like, at my peak, 4 to 5 practices a week. Sometimes there were morning practices at 5:15, and then I did meets once or twice a month. And I pretty much just stopped that this year, because I'm not doing anything with my swimming, so there was really no point in swimming my senior year. So I talked about that. And then I talked something about like I clarified something about the ACT writing because it said to do that. And then I just talked about a project that we did in our National Honor Society. So yeah, that's my additional information and my activities. Okay, so now for the fun part, my test scores. I know my SAT. Okay, so I took the SAT the first time when I was a sophomore, which is like really young. I took it at the end of my sophomore year, and I didn't study at all. I didn't even know like how the breakdown of the SAT worked, but I got a 1310 the first time, and I was like, okay, that's good. I was a sophomore. I was fine with it. And then I did like a little SAT program, and I took it again in November of my junior year, and I got a 1510. So I had a 750 on the writing and then a 760 on the math. And I had to take it one more time to get an essay, and I got like a 6, 6, and 6. I got, no, 6, 6, and 5 on the essay section, and I didn't do as good the third time because I literally just had to take it to take the essay. But yeah, my SAT I had a 1510, and I reported my SAT and ACT to most of the schools because they were pretty similar. So for the ACT, I got a 33, but then when I took it at school, I got a 32, but some of my scores were higher, and so my super score for the ACT was a 34, and I'm gonna pull up my individual scores really quick. Okay, so I was able to uncover my user ID and password. Okay, so I took the ACT with my school in September 2017, and then I took it myself in February of 2018. And in 2017, I got a 32, and then when I took it myself in 2018, I got a 33. But my highest overall scores were I got a 35 on reading, a 33 on science, a 36 on English, a 32 on math. And so the first 2 were from the first test, and then the second 2 scores were from the last test. And so yeah, super score, those were 34, and then regular, I just have my highest is a 33. And for the writing, I don't know what it's out of. I think it's out of 12. I think I got a 6, which is like not really good, I guess, but whatever. So that's my ACT, and then on the PSAT through my school, I got a 1420. I think it's at a 1520. I could be wrong. Maybe yeah, I think it's at a 1520. And yeah, like I said earlier, I was a National Merit Commended Scholar for that, and I missed the semifinalist thing for my state by a couple points, which, I mean, I still got something. So I was like the only one from my school that was a National Merit Commended Scholar, so that was kind of exciting. They put a selfie with me and the principal on the Facebook page, which was pretty cool. Okay, so that's pretty much everything that I can think of, because I didn't send my SAT subject test because they were really bad. I'm not gonna share, but they were below 700 for both of them. So yeah, that's my stats and my extracurriculars based on like what I put down and stuff like that. This video was kind of all over the place, but I'm gonna be telling y'all where I'm going to college next year. So like I said in my last video, I got into University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, University of Virginia, University of Tennessee, University of Georgia, and I'm going to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Shocker. Not really, because basically I picked Chapel Hill because I want to do business, and so it was between UVA and UNC based on that, because I did get into the honors colleges at Tennessee and Georgia, but UVA and UNC just have like such good programs that I narrowed it down to those two. And I got no financial aid from Virginia, and so yeah, UNC was the more financially sensible option. And I have my roommate, I have my suite mates, I have like a bunch of UNC stuff now, and I'm like super excited to go because I made a lot of friends already. So yeah, I'm going to UNC next year. Those were my stats that got me decent places in life. And yeah, I hope that you liked this video, and I hope that the setup was a lot better than the last one. Fingers crossed. And if I was rambling and talking too fast, then I'm sorry. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video.